The hot stove is heating up. The Blue Jays are signing starting pitcher Dylan Cease to a 7-year, $210 million deal. That's an average annual value of $30 million per. Cease spent the past 2 years with the Padres. This past season, posted a .455 ERA while leading the majors in strikeouts per 9 innings. He has been reliable. In fact, you can make the case that the most reliable pitcher in baseball over the last 5 seasons, the only pitcher to make 32 starts in each of the last 5 seasons, now joining a Blue Jays team that fell 1 game shy of winning the World Series. Makes sense of it all. Welcome in former MLB Executive of the Year and CBS Sports baseball insider Jim Bowden. Blue Jays agree to a 7-year, $210 million deal with Dylan Cease. Jim, how'd this come together?
Yeah, so the one thing we know about Dylan Cease's agent, Scott Boras, is that he doesn't sign players early in free agency unless he can break records right out of the get-go, and that's what happened in this deal with the Toronto Blue Jays. 7 years, $210 million is the deal. That's significantly higher than what Garrett Crochet got from the Red Sox compared to his 6 years, $170 million. Getting that extra year was huge. Blake Snell got 5 years, $182 million from the Dodgers. Carlos Rodon, 6 years, $162 million from the Yankees. So Scott Boras saw this as, no doubt, the best offer he was going to get on the table, and he wanted to jump on it early. And what this contract does, it really helps Scott with a lot of his other players that are free agents, including left-handed pitcher Ranger Suarez, Imai, who's coming over from Japan, Framber Valdez. So this does boost the market. It's going to benefit the other free agent pitchers. So really the deal came in because the president of the Blue Jays, Mark Shapiro, being American League champion, saw how close he was, an inch, of winning the World Series. And so he said, I'm going to go pedal to the metal. And he starts with the pitching with Dylan Cease. And this is a huge pickup. Look, they said goodbye to Chris Bassett. They said goodbye to Max Scherzer. But now you look at this, Kevin Gausman, Cease, who is going to turn 30 in 3 months, Trey Savage in that rotation as well, and Shane Bieber, who, as you know, Akeem, because you've watched his whole career, he's got a chance to be a Cy Young candidate next year. So I really like this move by the Blue Jays to start the offseason for them. This was a big move. And to your point of the 32 starts you were talking about, Cease, think of this, though, 200 strikeouts each of the last 5 years.
Yeah, you take a look at the projected rotation. That would also include Jose Barrios as your 5. That's a pretty good 5 to have. And when you consider who they just lost to in the World Series, their starters were deep. Now the Blue Jays now looking like a heavy hitter in their rotation with those 5 starters. That's what can stack up here, and that's what they're trying to do here. 1 win shy of winning the World Series. When you look at this and what this means for Toronto, this tells you, if you weren't already a believer, they are serious about getting back to the World Series. When you see this move by Toronto, what does it say to you?
Well, it says to me, number one, that A, they made a lot of money last year, but number two, they know what they have to do to get to the next level, and they're not done. Dylan Cease is the beginning of their offseason. They're still working on trying to bring Bo Bichette back. Bichette wants to check out free agency, but they've also had a lot of conversations with Casey Close, the agent for Kyle Tucker, and they would love to land Tucker and make him their everyday right fielder. Tucker fits in exactly what Toronto likes, right? The complete two-way player, an elite defensive player who hits and hits with power and has speed. He's got all those dimensions. And Tucker wouldn't have to be the face of this franchise because Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is going to be that. So I think what we now see is Toronto is serious. They're ready to win. And now the pressure really comes on the New York Yankees and on the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox moved yesterday to get Sonny Gray. They were trumped today by the Blue Jays landing Dylan Cease.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. The Blue Jays add Cease. The Red Sox acquire Sonny Gray. Do you expect the Yankees to respond as they battle here in the AL East with moves on consecutive days?
I'll be surprised if the Yankees either don't bring back Bellinger or aren't able to sign Tucker. I think they're really focused on one of them. I also won't be surprised if they get one of the top 2 or 3 closers in this marketplace. I know one thing, just listening to Brian Cashman and listening to Hal Steinbrenner, they're not going to bring the payroll down. They want to win a championship, and I think this move by the Blue Jays is going to awaken them. Just like the Red Sox move for Gray, now the Yankees are on the clock. Let's see what they can do next. But I'm expecting them to be extremely aggressive in the coming days. And I think Scott Boras did a brilliant deal with Cease. Great years, great money with Toronto. But more importantly, for all of the other Boras clients, and he's got 9 other big ones, this just puts pressure on teams like the Yankees and Red Sox to spend more. Are the Red Sox going to bring Bregman back? That's a Boras client. Are the Yankees going to bring Bellinger back? That's a Boras client. So, this kind of works together, and I can see what Scott's kind of doing here because he's got 3 AL East teams that are ready to spend some money.
Yeah, you used the word aggressive. I'm going to use it here as well. How might this deal for Cease make teams more aggressive to pull off a trade for Tigers ace and 2-time Cy Young winner Tarik Skubal?
Yeah, I think a lot of times they're going to make the call. I don't think the Tigers have decided yet if they're going to pony up the money to keep Skubal. And so I don't think there's a team right now that can make an aggressive enough offer to get them to trade him. I think we're still waiting for Tigers owner Chris Ilitch to decide if he wants to spend the $400 million to retain him. And so I think we have to wait for that. I think there could be a team that calls Milwaukee, though, on Freddie Peralta and maybe ups the offer there. I don't think there's any question that's a possibility. But remember, when you still have Valdez, Suarez, and Imai, Zach Gallen sitting on the free agent market, a lot of teams like to wait until the free agents sign before making trades. No team likes to trade the prospect. So if they can sign one of those pitchers instead of trading for them, that's usually the contending team's preference.
Winter meetings in a couple weeks. Jim Bowden will be there for us, and we're excited as the hot stove begins to simmer and heat up here in Major League Baseball. Jim Bowden with us as Dylan Cease agrees to a 7-year, $210 million deal. Jim Bowden with the latest. Jim, thank you very much. So a happy Thanksgiving for Dylan Cease and his family, agreeing to a massive deal that pays him $30 million per season. As you take a look at the top free agents, Kyle Tucker, as we mentioned, among the big names who highlight this class includes Kyle Schwarber, Pete Alonso, Alex Bregman, Bo Bichette, Cody Bellinger. Blue Jays now trying to find a way to keep Bo Bichette. Free agent pitchers, Ranger Suarez, Framber Valdez still on the market, and Japanese star infielder Munetaka Murakami, who's known for his power, expected to be one of the most sought-after free agents here in the offseason. And when a free agent signs, we'll have reaction right here on CBS Sports HQ.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you.
Big news coming out of the NFL. A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
With highlights.
What a finish at the final round of play.
And in-depth analysis.
Can they three-peat? Tony Romo joins the conversation.
What can you say about this game?
When you need your sports in a snap,
we're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
Find it on CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free anywhere you are.